All clean? Woo! I got the guy on the right.
Indeed you did. That was very pretty.
Hello out there in SIGT land and the rest of YouTube. This is Randy again, and I got a couple new products coming up. But the first thing I want to talk about is muzzle brakes, muzzle devices, more or less brakes. I don't have any devices because in Illinois we can't have any devices. But I was putting together my new 3-gun upper. This is my old 3-gun upper. You can see I've got a brake on there. It was $30 at a gun show. It did great. I was really enthralled with it. I think it was great, but I was wanting to go to a Strike Eagle scope and change up a couple different things and try out a few different things. Like I said, on this one I've got the magnifier and the Aimpoint Pro dot, which I liked, but some of the farther shots out there were getting a little difficult to hit. So I wanted to go with the Strike Eagle. So I was like, screw it, I'll build a whole nother upper. So I've got a Des Arms barrel, which if you watch my AR-10 build, I rave so much about the Des Arms. They're fabulous barrels. I was so happy with the 10 that I wanted to put it on my 15. I also wanted to go with a longer forearm here, so I can get my hand out a little bit more and be able to change up position a little bit better. As you can see, this short little carbine one, you just don't have much. It's just a short little carbine handrail and backup sights there, which this, was fabulous rifle. I would take this anywhere, but just want to do something a little bit more dedicated to 3-gun. But what we are actually here for today is the brakes compensators. Like I said, on this one, this I picked up at a gun show down in Kentucky. I think it was like $25 or $30. I've actually heard people say this brake is freaking terrible, but I'm going to shoot it here in a little bit and show you how flat the rifle shoots. I've had people actually compliment me at my shoots that they're like, man, you just have a flat shooting rifle. So when I wanted to go to a 3-gun brake, I picked up this YHM. They call this the slant muzzle brake compensator, 1/2x28. And I shot it a few times, and the concussion that comes out of the side is great. Not great, but I mean like great. Like there's a lot of concussion that comes out of the side of this thing. And I just didn't feel like it just functioned as well as this. Now I could be mistaken just because, I've shot this for so long and I'm, just attuned to this, but it was flat shooting, but I just felt like I could get better. So I went on YouTube, that's what you do. That's what you're here doing, watching my video on YouTube. But I was watching a review on multiple brakes, and the guy had a test. I'm going to link it here below if you actually want to see all the different tests. Hopefully it shows up right here. And he was going through many brakes. Now, granted, he didn't show this brake, he didn't show this brake, but he did show this brake. And this is the SJC Titan. And in his test, he had a sled. The gun was mounted on the sled. He'd put a round in there and he'd fire it, and the gun would move backwards, and he had measurements on the table how far it slid back. This SJC Titan won out of all of them. I think he had something like 48 brakes or something like that, maybe 50 brakes he was testing, and this one just the amount of slide varied from, I think it was all the way from bare barrel, no brake on it at all, that was like 11 inches, and the SJC Titan only pushed back like 2.5 inches. Most of the brakes were falling in the 6-inch range, 4-inch range, and it was a wonderful video, but I just wanted the results. So what I'm going to do is just take my new SJC Titan, and I'm going to put it on my new 3-gun upper, and we're going to test out a couple different things. I've shot this one. Of course, I've shot this one. I have yet to shoot this one, so this is just going to be a stock feeling shoot. Just, okay, you know, do I love it? Do I hate it? You know, am I going to go with this? Am I going to go with that? But we're going to stop right here and go out to the range and check it out. All right, so we're out here at the range. We are going to show you what this $30 break and the original configuration of my first 3-gun rifle was. And basically what I'm just trying to do is just do a side view, kind of a front cornering view, and I'll even have my head camera on here, as you can see. And hopefully we can kind of use this as a little bit of side-by-side comparison. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to try to stand in the same position. And I'm just going to do a 2-shot rapid succession. Now, I do understand that this upper is completely different than my new 3-gun upper, but you know, there's probably a huge weight difference here. I don't know exactly the weight of this gun, but I do know that it weighs quite a bit more. I'd say by a pound or so more than the other one. I can definitely feel the difference. Now the lower is all the same, and the butt stock and all that's the same. But when I do change up to the SJC, I am going to use it both on the 3-gun, the new 3-gun build. So 2 shots, rapid succession. Here we go. All right, I'm going to change up the upper, and I'll be right back. Okay, Yankee Hill Machine YHM comp. Showed you earlier, 2 shots, rapid succession. All right, we're going to change out the comp on this, and I'll be right back. Okay, SJC Titan. I'd have to say that is actually pretty flat. Being this is the very first time I've shot that, it was very flat. The concussion was, I'd say, just as bad as the Yankee Hill Machine. Maybe not quite as loud, but I can definitely feel the backblast of that SJC Titan a lot more than that Yankee Hill Machine. Maybe we'll do a few more shots. That was actually pretty fun. So SJC Titan first impressions, pretty badass. All right, so got my full 30-round mag, and I've got my other camera on the metal targets down there, and we're gonna do some just rapid fire target acquisition type stuff. That's probably a little bit too tactical to say that, but I'm just gonna try to transition in between the targets, the 3 circular steel plates down there, as fast as I can, just to see exactly how quick I can be compared to myself. And I'm only judging myself against myself. So this is not an empirical test of, okay, yes, you are so much better than everybody else, because I know that's not true. All right, fog glasses, humid. All right, SJC Titan, 30-round mag. We'll just do like maybe a shot per plate, and just do a string of, you know, 1 string of 3. All right. Boy, I have to say it's pretty nice. All right, we'll try doing 2, 2, and 2 now.
Can't really tell. I know I hit him, but I don't know if I hit him with both shots. We'll try that again. We'll go 2, 2, 2. Well, I want to say I'm hitting him with both shots, but I'm going to review it on when I'm editing this, just to see. All right, 1, 1, 1. Boy, I have to say I'm liking that. That just stays flat as can be. I think that's pretty awesome. I don't know if we can see the stump down there, just to the lower right-hand side of the target, but I got about, I don't know, maybe 12 rounds. Let's see what I can do, just dump it into that stump. And we're empty. Boy, man, there's hardly any climb on that. That's pretty flat. I'm really impressed with the SJC Titan. Cool. Let's go back to the bench, and I'm going to show you, I think, how it's working.
All right, we are back at the bench. As you can see, the little $30 cheap Castle muzzle brake did pretty good. I've shot this for years and really impressed with it. People say it doesn't do shit, but it does really good compared to some. And then the Yankee Hill Machine YHM brake, we got to see that. And then of course the SJC Titan, do so named. Very impressed with this. Very flat shooting. The concussion, now that I'm sitting here at the bench thinking about it, the concussion wasn't as bad as I felt like it came off of the YHM, coming back at you. I mean, you could definitely feel the pressure, but the bang, that whole concussion bang, just wasn't as bad as this. When I first tested this out, I was, sighting in my scope here, which is this Vortex Strike Eagle. I'm going to do a review on it too. But I was sighting in this scope, and I was just on my little bench down there, and I've got kind of a little roof and a covered over my head, and I had some brass sitting on the bench, and it just blew everything off the bench. And the muzzle was actually past the bench by quite a few, inches. I'd say probably the muzzle was, it could have been probably that far past the bench. But the concussion was huge. Of course, I'm not going to do that exact same test. I wouldn't even say it's a test. It's just something I noted. But with the Titan, but who knows? It probably had the same thing. But like I said, the blast coming off of this was huge. It did its job. It's better than a stock brake or no brake at all. But I have to say the Titan does rule the roost. All right, so let's take a little bit closer look at kind of what's going on with the 3 brakes I've got here. All right, so to the $30 El Cheapo. Let me just cover up my optics here, get them in alignment. All right, so for the $30 El Cheapo, if you can see here, we've got these side slits here, and there's holes drilled in between the side slits. Actually, it looks like they came through and machined down and caught an opening, where they drilled through here. You can see through there. So the blast is coming out of this hole here. It's getting caught on, let's see if I can change the angle here. It's getting caught on the angle here, propelling it back this way, up and down. I don't know, probably the dimension of that's kind of hard to see, but see, it would propel it down and up. And then of course you have 2 top ports here and here on the top of the brake that would direct some of that blast energy up. For 30 bucks, I'd say you can't go wrong. Okay. So the Yankee Hill Machine, as you can see, we have multiple ports running across the top, up and down here, directing small jets of gases going up, in multiple succession. And then of course you've got these 2 wide giant slits here. The wide giant slits here, I think are just allowing gases to escape just straight out to the side. So you might get a side-to-side stabilization, but you're not going to get a up to down as much stabilization as much as let's just say the Titan. And I'm going to show you on the Titan here what it's doing. But you know, so you've got all this gas escaping out sideways, you know, through these ports here, and some of it is going to be hitting this sidewall here and blowing back that way. But as you can see, let's see if I can change the angle, but as you can see, they machined right through the center of that, so this wall right here is not going to catch as much gas. So some of that gas is going to come out from the backside here and escape out towards the front. That's just a observation point. All right, let's get to the Titan, which I think is pretty ingenious how they milled this down for us. Okay, so on this SJC Titan, once again we have two gas ports. They're a little bit more wide spread out. Maybe the spreading has something to do with it, and they're just two big giant ports, kind of like the Castle brake. But the bee's knees of what's going on here, and yeah, I can see on my camera, I can't see that very well, but let me get a flashlight here, see if we can shine it down in there a little bit. So what they did in the side ports is they didn't mill them all the way through. See, they're not all the way through, and what the camera's not showing, what I can see very prevalent to this, is when they milled, they took a flat end mill bit, milled down through here, and then they stopped before it went too far, and they came in at an angle like this. Okay, so they stopped and they created a couple of flat points deep down inside of this brake. So when the gas is coming up, it's going to come up, it's going to want to escape past the backside of the bullet, and it's going to hit that flat point and get caught in this corner and traject itself back out this way. So, you know, gas is coming back out this way through each three of these. So, you know, you've got a V fan pattern. Of course, you got your two top ports that are going to keep your muzzle down, but you're also going to reduce the amount of felt recoil by having these six, I mean, because there's three on each side, these six plasma jets, you know, gas jets coming back, you know, each side of you. So that's going to kind of want to pull the rifle away off your shoulder. Of course, it's not like so drastic the rifle's jumping out of your shoulder, but it just reduces that amount of felt recoil, which in turn reduces muzzle climb and instabilization. So that, my friends, is the new SJC Titan brake. Very impressed. Now, the one thing I want to add is like I said, I've said this probably 30 times on this video, but this is a $30 brake. I don't remember off the top of my head. You can probably look it up online. I think I picked this up on Amazon. I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks. Like I said, very good brake still. And then this, I believe I got it out of Shooter's Connection, and I think this was 90. I also got one for my 308, and that was 100. So I'm going to test that out on the AR-10 build that I did and see how it does as a bench brake. Does price necessarily dictate quality or functionality? Maybe the quality, you know, yeah, 30 bucks. This is, you know, basic metal. I'm not unhappy with the quality, but I can see a little bit more neater curvier lines in here, and, you know, a little bit neater. And then of course the Titan, I think they're just selling the functionality of this more so than, you know, the quality is still top notch, you know, but it's not like a tactical brake, I would say, like the Yankee Hill machine is. And then of course this is also tactical, but you know, they're selling more of the functionality. They came up with a great design, and they're like, hey, let's just put this out there, and you know, we're gonna make our money on it, which it's duly noted. You know, if somebody has good design, I think they should get paid for it. But I think a lot of times on these brakes, people are buying them. I think brakes are like fishing lures for gun guys. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, I bought that because I thought it was cool and mean and had this sharp point. I mean, the functionality of it, it did some of its job, but was it fantastic at its job? Probably not. Like I proved with the Titan, I think that one's a lot better. But brakes are like fishing lures. They make them in these neat designs and CNC water jet cuttings in them, and different porthole designs, and basically it's a sell tactic to get you to buy their brake. I think the YouTube video the gentleman did, he kind of threw a lot of those out and just said, hey, look, this is the actual data that I came up with. This is what this brake is doing. Why is there any other reason to buy another brake other than the one for the functionality? Unless you want to look all tactical, which some of us might. I buy stuff to look tactical. I will admit it, but I also like functionality, and the functionality of things, make your shooting experience better. I would rather have something functional over the form of it looking better. I would probably drive a piece of crap car if it was a better car than some fancy car. That's just me. It's function over form is what I call it. So SJC Titan, awesome. You did a great job, SJC. Many thanks to you for creating a great product. I think the price point's not bad either. I think $90 is good for the top of the line brake. I mean, seeing that I heard there's brakes out there that are $300-400, and I'm sure they even get crazier than that. So I'd have to say you did a great job. I'd probably rate this 5 out of 5 in my little meter of rating things, just because it did what it did what it's supposed to do. It mitigated the muzzle rise and the felt recoil, and 2, the price wasn't bad. 3, the quality of the product was perfect. All the threads were in alignment and everything. When I put it on, I didn't have to finagle it or anything like that. And the ease of installation, because you got these nice 2 flat points on here. You got plenty of places to put your crescent wrench and get that sucker tightened down. I see a lot of these brakes where they're just round, or even on this Yankee Hill machine, they give you this little nub back here to deal with, and you end up scarring up something. I think I scarred up my crush washer when I put this one on, just because I didn't have a crescent wrench narrow enough to get around there. So, like I said, 5 out of 5. And that's not to say the Yankee Hill machine one is just total crap. I mean, it looks pretty cool. If you're going for a cool look on your gun, that's a pretty cool brake. Did it function as well as the Titan? I don't think so. Not in my opinion. Maybe the video will prove differently, but I felt like with that SJC, it was just straight on. So I think I'm pretty much done talking about the 3 brakes that I got currently. Of course, I didn't test a stock brake, which I probably got 20 or 30 of those laying around, which we all know what those feel like. They're just junk compared to what is on the market today. Anyways, this is Randy SIGT signing out.
Finished, unload your car.